One of the most common questions I get asked is when I got started in e-commerce and how long it took before I actually started making real money. My journey is kind of crazy and it should answer all your questions, so here we go. So before I started my own business, I actually had a pretty high paying job at a Fortune 500 company as an engineer. Despite the fact that I had a stable job, and I know it's kind of cringe to say, but entrepreneurship was just kind of in my blood, if that makes sense. Like, I didn't really need the extra money, but I always was reselling sneakers and clothes on the side just because I liked how it made me feel. Making $1,000 in a month selling shoes always felt way more rewarding to me than getting a paycheck for 5 times that. I started my first business when I was 13 years old doing graphic design, and I've kind of just always been hustling for extra money ever since. It's just what I do. So anyway, fast forward to 2019, the sneaker industry kind of went down the tubes, and a lot of sneaker kids were kind of getting into this dropshipping thing that I didn't know much about, but it seemed like it was a good way to make money. I actually liked it a lot more than sneakers because it felt like you got rewarded way more for your talent as opposed to just getting lucky hitting on a pair of shoes, so I started doing it a lot more. I found a mentor and he taught me a ton about how to design a store and do Facebook ads and all that, but I still hadn't made a ton of money. I think my first store, I maybe got $500 in revenue, but still lost a couple $100. My second store, I lost a couple $100 and didn't get any sales. And then on my third store, I think I got it up to about 5 to 10 grand revenue, but I still wasn't making any money. It was maybe break even at best. So this is where it gets crazy. One day I just decided to quit my job and go all in on e-commerce, even though I hadn't made a single dollar doing it yet. I felt like as long as I had a steady paycheck coming in, I was never going to give e-commerce my all, and I knew I wanted to be an entrepreneur, so I just decided to quit my job and go all in. I'm definitely not condoning you doing that as well. I think it was pretty stupid, but I did it. Anyway, my first store after I quit my job was a pretty big hit. I made a couple $1,000s doing it, and then my next store after that was massive, and I actually still run that brand to this day 2 years later. So yeah, I've been doing e-commerce ever since for the last 3 years.